now we have the correct tracking force, 2.3 grams for this cartridge. Now I can do the final height adjustment. For that, I will need to take a record. I'll take this record and then put it on to the turntable, still not spinning the turntable, and then I will lower the cartridge down on the record surface. And now it's safe to do so because we have adjusted the vertical tracking force. So now we can do that, lowering it down. And now we again look for this parallelity between the record surface and the tone arm. And it's pretty nice. I would prefer to lower it a little bit because this looks like would be better, but it's only talking about a little bit. So this is the final adjustment for the height. We'll have a look again. And to me it seems like it cannot be any better now. So now the tone arm tube is parallel to the record surface. Next thing is to make sure that this lift, where I can raise and lower the cartridge on the record, is at the right height. That can be adjusted. So I'll now take it in like this, and then I'll have a look for the distance between the stylus and the record surface. I want to have a decent distance between the record surface and the stylus so that it's not too close. And if I look here, then it's definitely on the edge to be too close. It's more like a millimeter or something like that. And that's too little. So I want to raise the lift a little bit. But I could also like to see if I lower it down, if the tone arm goes totally free from the tone arm tube so that the cartridge is only resting on the record surface. And I can see over here between this lift and the tube that there's a big gap. So that's nice. To adjust this one, I will need the small hex wrench that comes together with the tone arm, and at the side right next to the lift there is a small hex screw that I can loosen, and then I only have to raise the lift very slightly. This might be even too much. I'll take it in and lower it down so it's still okay in the lower position, but now it might be slightly to the high side. So we don't want it to be too high and not too low. So I'll make one more small adjustment like this, and now it seems very nice to me. So now I have a decent distance between the stylus and the record surface. Lowering it down, I still have free space between the tone arm tube and the lift. So that is the adjustment of the lift height with the small hex wrench. So now all the mechanical adjustments has been made here. The last thing we need to do is the anti-skating. Anti-skating is to compensate for a force that will drag the stylus toward the center of the record when it's playing. That's due to friction between the stylus and the record groove. So we have to compensate for that, and we do that by anti-skating. So this is a spring anti-skating force, and then I'll just turn the dial. Each step on the dial is 0.5 grams. So I turn it up to close to 2.5, which corresponds to the 2.3 that I had as the vertical tracking force. And this is really not grams, but the rough adjustment is really, if it says 2.3 over here, you put this roughly at 2.3. After that, you can try to make a better adjustment by listening to different tracks on records. But right now, we put it roughly at 2.5 now. 2.3 is there. And now we are ready to play. But we still need to have the signal from the cartridge through the tone arm out to the equipment. And for that, we need to use a tone arm cable. So this tone arm cable is equipped with a 5-pin connector, standard tone arm 5-pin connector in one end, and the other end 2 RCAs and a ground connector. In order to connect this to the end of the shaft down here, you have to fit this small pin into a slot, and I can take the 12-inch, which I have here, and then I can show how this looks. So if you look down here, up there you have the pins, and here you have the slot, and then this small pin on the connector has to fit into that slot like this, and then you just push it in like that. So this is how it has to be mounted. So these two has to fit. So now I'll take that out again, and now I need to do it over here, and I can feel where this slot is. So I'll just have the pin in the correct position, and then I will put it up like this. So now it's connected, and now the other end can be connected to the phono preamp.